I'm going to read a couple of passages from the medieval play Everyman, which is very well named because every man faces death. And at the beginning of the play, death comes to every man and says, "Every man, stand still. Whither art thou going thus gaily? Hast thou thy Maker forgot? Why askest thou? Wouldst thou know? Yea, sir, I will show you in great haste. I am sent to thee from God out of his majesty." What? Sent to me? Yea.
When I found out Arthur was dying, I was horrified and sad. He's my great uncle, but he's always struck me as ageless, somehow impervious to death. With his great booming voice, bounding here or there, he's so full of life and clearly in love with life. I was reminded of his book, The Staircase Letters, about his correspondence with his former student Elma Gerwin and author Carol Shields when they were dying of cancer. When he wrote the book, he was in perfect health, celebrating his golden years, and he felt helpless, not knowing what to say to these women. But now that he's dying of cancer himself, I wonder how he'll face his own death.
Yesterday I had chemotherapy, and last night I felt really down. And thought, well, God, how long is this going to go on? I wanted to be finished with. But then, then today it's a bright, sunny, beautiful day, and I'm feeling a bit better. So, go down, you come up again. So it's a roller coaster ride of, shadows and sunshine, and that's the way I guess it's going to be until the time comes when you can't sort of get up again. I'm very careful the way I move now, and I sit carefully, and I walk carefully, and I lie down carefully, and I have a bath carefully. You just treat yourself more kindly, I guess, to protect what's there. There's lots to read and lots more to think about and reflect on. And, I am death, that no man dreadeth, that every man arrests and no man spareth, for it is God's commandment that all to me should be obedient. O death, thou comest when I had thee least in mind. In thy power it lieth me to save, yet of my goods will I give thee, if ye will be kind. Yea, 1,000 pounds thou shalt have, and defer this matter till another day. So while we know we're going to die, it all seems very theoretical, despite the fact that everyone who's born dies. You always want a little longer. Even if at 85 I'm told I have a few months left, I'd like it to be a little longer. And, it's not going to happen.
People hardly ever talk about death. It's awkward, uncomfortable, sad. It feels almost impolite or crass to bring it up. Like it's bad enough someone's dying. Why should you remind them of it?
I slept pretty well last night. I wake up lots of times, but I go back to sleep, which I don't always do, but I did last night. I went back to sleep and I slept in. Yeah, yes.
And what do you do when you can't sleep?
I just lie there and think about things.
What sort of things?
Well, dark things, and then I try to think of jolly things and bright things from my life in the past. One does wonder if one could have done more and should have done more, but you only have the time you have. And one of the rewarding things for me at this point in my life, these last couple of months, have been the letters I've got from students. I mean, I happen to have here a whole pile of them, Students I had 50 years ago saying, thank you for what you did. And, that means a lot to me. But people are very self-conscious about their feelings. But it would be so much better if we told other people, how much we love them or like them.
Do you have any advice for people who are still fumbling through trying to live their lives?
Well, trying to be honest with yourself. I mean, being gay was not something that was easy for a lot of people to accept. I had awful times just hiding this secret, because I've always known, but then I got married and I thought, that would fix me up, but it didn't. So my advice is, to be honest with yourself, and what else is it to be? If you can't be yourself when you're living, you're not going to be yourself when you're dead. I've thought about a lot. Dying is the last living thing we have to do. And to do it with grace and dignity, if you can, is something that you want to do. I've written down my instructions, and after I die, I want there to be a great party. And lots of laughter.
How could one so enraptured with life and all it holds be okay with saying goodbye? I didn't ask, so I don't know. But I worry that he is scared, that he's putting on a brave face, telling people what they want to hear, making it easier on us.
I do think that without knowing, it's just a matter of feeling that there's got to be something behind all this. And people who die say, oh, they look forward to seeing their mother and father and their sister and all that. It'd be nice if that happened, but I don't think it's going to happen. So after this encounter with fellowship, he turns to his relatives, called kindred and cousin in this play, and then he turns to his goods, piled high, all his treasures and worldly wealth, and he turns to his good deeds, and they are a recommendation, and knowledge, which he goes hand in hand with towards the grave. When he gets to the edge of the grave, his own strength deserts him, and discretion deserts him, and beauty deserts him. He's left only with good deeds and knowledge. Finally, he gets to the edge of the grave, and good deeds says, I alone can go with you, but I cannot go any further than this. I think now about my own dying much more than I used to. I hope when it comes that all those I love will move past darkness into their own light, convinced that I may already have moved into mine. What now will I say at my end? That I need more time for love, or that I use the time I was given? Yeah.
Mark and marker. This visit has made me realize how little I know about the lives of so many in my family. I think this is so sad. How is it that we just take each other for granted so easily? Like we'll always be here, that there'll always be time. When there isn't, and we won't.
Okay, good night, Megan.